10 common sense ways to save money at theme parks this summer. Also, we're going to have some highlights at the end at Disney World, how to save money. First off, plan ahead. Planning ahead before you go is a great way. Check on theme parks websites, and a lot of times it's cheaper to get the tickets online than it is to get them at the gate. Pack snacks and water. Also check into the park's rules and regulations when you do that. Carry a reusable water bottle. Skip the souvenirs. Now, skipping the souvenirs is a really easy thing to do. You can go and skip the souvenirs and even go and pick them up at other places like online or at shops around town. Use public transportation or carpooling. A lot of times with a lot of these parks, they have carpooling that's available. And take advantage of discount days. That's a great way to do that. A lot of parks have discount days and discounted tickets at off hours. Bring your own stroller. We're going to get more into detail about that towards the end of this video about strollers and what about strollers and things to know. You can also do discounted gift cards and use coupons. Coupons are great. They have them. You can buy them. Sometimes you can get them for free, get them at stores, and visit near closing time. That's another way to save money, is go near closing time. Now, stay tuned because we're going to go into specifically the rules and regulations at this place, Walt Disney World. There are a lot of rules and regulations. You need to know them. You can find out all sorts of information online. I forgot to mention one thing. Telephone. Use the telephone. So few people call and find out information on the telephone. And that is another way to save money, because people will tell you all sorts of things over the phone, how to save money. And now, time for the rules and regulations of Disneyland. Here's help in the rules, and let's get to them. And we'll cut here and take that thing out of there. And, stop. Walt Disney World Resort property rules. There are a ton of them. Let's go through some of them. Don't smoke marijuana. Don't smoke. Prohibited items. There are a ton of prohibited items. Toys that appear like firearms, alcohol, glass containers. You can bring in baby food jars, provided they have baby food in them. Horns, whistles, large megaphones, anything that makes an artificial noise is not allowed in the park. Strollers that are 32 inches wide more than 52 inches in length. And you cannot have a towable stroller. In other words, no wagons allowed. Any trailer-like device is not allowed. Wheeled mobility with less than 3 wheels, that's not allowed. You can bring a backpack, but make sure that your backpack or suitcase is not any larger than 24 by 15 by 18 inches. And why am I saying this will save you money? Because when I went to Disneyland a couple of years back, I had my backpack. I mean, granted, thank God it was within specs. But inside of my backpack, I had forgotten that I had 30 feet of line, which probably would have cost about $3 to $5, depending. And they confiscated it because they said that line is not allowed in the park for more than 30 inches. And I said, well, can you cut it into 30-inch lengths? And no go. They didn't want to go with that. So don't argue with the security guards. And also, selfie sticks aren't allowed. Backpack, if you have a tripod, you can bring that, but it has to be able to fit into the backpack that we've already noted, and also it cannot extend over 6 feet, even if it does fit. Balloons aren't allowed, plastic straws aren't allowed, and then here's the big caveat that you need to know about. We reserve the right to prohibit the use or storage of any, in other words, anything that they don't want in the park, they can say you can't bring it. Now you got 2 things that you can do. You can either walk all the way back to the car, or depending on the item, they might just say that you can't even do that. You have to confiscate it right then and there. And believe me, you're just going to let them take it. That'll be the easiest thing. Sale of prohibitive activities, sale of goods or services, distribution of recorded materials, engage in guest while portraying characters from in costume. In other words, you can go in costume, but you can't then go and pretend like you're Mickey Mouse or something like that. Any unsafe act, and same thing, we reserve the right. Now, I thought this was kind of cute. In their things, actually, I have to get rid of this thing, so let's get rid of this now so that I want to see what the attire policies are, and I couldn't get that thing to go because I had that thing over here going. Proper attire, shoes, shirts must be worn at all times. Right to deny, in other words, if you're inappropriately dressed, Missy, we can turn you away. So be sure to have something that would pass as normal. Guest viable tattoos. Wow. Visible tattoos that could be considered inappropriate could get you so that you can't go in. What about all those people with the ones on their face? Oh, this is going to be difficult. And costumes may not be worn in our theme parks, water parks, ESPN complex by guests ages 14 or older. Okay, mask can't be worn. Please show common courtesy to follow and access quiet hours and all sorts of great things. Animal policies, I had those highlighted, but petting, playing with the animals. If you have service animals, you have to have your service animals under control, and they are strict on service animals. Emotional support animals are not allowed in the park. You can have a dog or a miniature horse, believe it or not, but they have to be trained to perform a specific task. Plus, you probably have to have the need for that animal. And I don't think that'll be hard to show. And company rights, which basically says we can deny you anything we think is inappropriate. That's some ways to save money at Disneyland. Ways to save on going to theme parks. Specifically, let's go to Disney World in Florida. Visit a discount site like Expedia. We have the Four Seasons Resort. Now, the advantage of the Four Seasons, it's very expensive, but you notice this is fully refundable, which is kind of nice to have. We have Walt Disney World Swan. That's like right next to the park, 2.05 miles, not very far away. $211 a night. The Wyndham Garden Lake Buena Vista Springs and Resort area. Look, we even have a place to go swimming at the resort. And that's good. It's got 7.6 ratings and $99 a night. The Wyndham VIP Access Wyndham Lake Buena Vista Disney Springs Resort, 2.98 miles. One of the things to check at all of these resorts, though, is just like resorts near the airport, usually they have, if you're smart, you get one that has a shuttle, because that can save you $50 each trip almost. And a shuttle, all you got to do is, and you don't even have to tip the driver, but I find that it's just common courtesy to tip the driver. Here's one for $87. Stay at a hotel. They're nice and they're air conditioned, and you have more security.